Okay. Compressor is working here. Compressor should be working here, the sidechain. Now it should be all okay. Except for the link. I need to post the link. Of course, this being the start of a YouTube stream, I never know when exactly it's going to start. But it does look to me like it has started. I'm just starting up here and posting the stream announcement, and then we'll get right into the mixing. Let's see, is there anything I need to get back to? No, that's just the videos being posted. Hello Klaus, welcome. Nice to see you here. As it says in the stream title, we're going to be doing some mixing today. As you can see, we have the project laying right in front of us. This is actually quite a big project, I would say. It's okay, it's 150 tracks, including all of the groups that we have up until now. So this is already organized, and as you can see, some of the things are already on. So I mainly started already. Is it buffering? Oh. That's strange. I don't see any issues on my part right now, but I'll keep a lookout for it. Either way, I have a beer, I have some free time, and it's 5 o'clock, so I'm allowed to drink. So we're going to work on this mix, and hopefully we can get to the point where all of the elements have been added. That's my goal for today. As you can see, already a lot of stuff has been, and there's not much more to do. The main issue with this track is that there's just a lot of leads that I need to work in, and that's going to take some time. The way that I like to work, for those that don't know, is I first mute everything, and then I bring it in one by one, and then I apply any preliminary EQing or compression or whatever basic effect that it needs, and then I'll go in and do all of my enhancements and my actual mixing, right? So I essentially start off with a project that is already kind of well separated and well prepared, and then once all of the elements are in there, right, that's the moment where I switch into mixing. That's really where I get to decide, okay, now I'm going to enhance the sounds. What am I going to do with them? How much space do I need for that? What other elements need to give? All of that stuff. So I guess the best way to do this, to be honest, is just to go one by one and just add the tracks in. Just by zooming in a little bit, seeing what the track is supposed to do, how it functions, and what we can do with it. This is very sharp here. Also, I cannot talk while it's playing. That's something that I need to say out loud, because otherwise I forget. Okay, I like to work chronologically, as in, okay, this is going to be the next element that plays, probably. I didn't look through all of them, but still. And that's how I like to add them one by one. This seems to be very dominant in terms of its sound. That's what I figured. It doesn't really need all of those lower frequencies to kind of exist. That's kind of all it needs to do, right? Maybe even a little bit lower. Go with the next. Okay, so it goes from here, I guess. guess that works. It's a little bit confusing which sound should be the main sound, because this kind of stops here, while this is like the drop length, right, from here to here. So this is actually like on an important spot, but it's not really doing anything on that spot. I guess this is more important there. How many times does that play? Is it just those two? Then I guess we can just work it in as a layer. Okay. Then the next sound that I see that I want to add is this one. As you can see, as I said, I'm just kind of randomly going through it. That's the easiest way. I need to add these elements in not really in a particular order, I found. Obviously, when I start off, what I do is I start off with the kick, the bass, and then all of the other drums, and then all of my main lead elements, I've organized those in the top. So up until like here-ish, this group maybe some of this stuff as well. That's considered like main leads and main stuff that I want to add. But all of the other things, it really doesn't matter when you add them and at what point in the mix you add them. Because functionally they should be like all on the same level. They should all be supporting elements of whatever lead that you have. If you don't have a lead, then automatically your one-shots become your main elements. So you just mix them as main elements. E.g., welcome. I'm still worried that I'm mispronouncing that name, by the way, but let's hope not. Why is there an equalizer here? I don't know if I want one. Okay, what I do want is some dynamics, because that first one is quieter than the second delay hit. I don't think I like that effect. What I should be able to do is set the length of that and then you can pronounce it as Aegean. Yeah, you see, those kind of words, they don't really help me. I was looking at the chat like, oh, you can pronounce it like that. Okay, now how do I pronounce that? Okay. This is strange because look at this waveform. The second part is the loudest, the second delay hit. And I guess that has partially to do with that it's ping pong maybe. But it's still strange to me because perception-wise, I still feel like it's like the loudest part in the second one, which isn't the effect that I like. I guess the compressor is doing a little bit for that to kind of glue out. I guess we could try if we gain stage this, so we'll go like plus 3.5 dB maybe. So let's look. Yeah. So one of the things that we have now is that we essentially have this sound here, which is coming through that one, which is not what I want. So I'm going to fade it out, I guess, like here-ish. Now we have more impact because their delay tail isn't happening, and that enforces the other one shot that we have here, which is the one that I like. This is good stuff. Is it aligned? Should be, right? Yeah, okay, so if you zoom out, in some cases the waveform looks like it's not aligned, I guess. Yeah, I don't think that the G is the problem in that word. I think it's the double AE or EA, that kind of stuff. I don't really know how to pronounce that. It's also because obviously I'm speaking English with Dutch influences, right? Because I have my dialect and whatnot. So just in general, even when I'm speaking English, I have to think a little bit about the way that I'm speaking. And it's in live streams, it's a little bit more natural. But for example, when I'm recording, I record 2 sentences, completely stop, think about, okay, how do I pronounce the next thing that I want to talk about? And there's very rare cases where I can just ramble on for 4 to 5 sentences or let's say 4 to 5 ideas. Sometimes I can ramble on, but I'll just continue to say the same thing, and then I just cut that. But one of the things that I found about knowing multiple languages well, like I do, right, with English, Dutch, and Italian, I basically speak all 3 to a point where I would be considered fluent in all 3 of them. But it's not at even my Dutch now, right? Because I don't speak a lot of Dutch unless I'm talking on the phone with my parents. I don't speak Dutch at all during the day. So what I found is that when I'm speaking any of the 3 languages, I'm always thinking about, okay, how do I pronounce it? How do I have to do this? How do I have to do that? Because I'm fluent, but not now. Only the Italian comes up in me. It's lingua madre. Mother language is it's like the language that you're born with. I also don't speak Dutch often. I understand. For me, it's a little bit less excusable because it's native language. Native language, that's the word. It's my native language. Even Dutch, even though it's my native language, when I come home, for example, for my parents, I have like trouble acclimating to the tone, right? Not so much the words. All of that comes back immediately, whatever I want to say, but just changing up the tone and the way that you speak that is needed for different languages is really what gets me. Hi, I have a question about how you group the singles, shots, and leads, and how you process them to sound great when you sum them into mono and play in stereo. Any advice? Why would you sum them in mono and play them stereo? By the way, welcome to the stream. Sorry. Welcome. Okay, so question about grouping the single shots and leads and how do you process them to sound great when you sum them in mono and play in stereo? How do you make sure... okay, mono compatibility. Okay, I can go over that. Well, to be honest, with my process, like, there's just... to make sure that they sound great on every sound system. Okay, so first of all, you're never going to get that guarantee, right? You don't know where... what all of the sound systems are that your music is going to play on. Maybe you're going to go into some... maybe it's going to go into, say, a rave, and the guy that's organizing the rave just doesn't know how a PA system works and messes up the setup or whatever. You never know what kind of a system your music is truly going to be played on, even if people are listening for it on the first time, right? So, say for example, maybe you send me a track and you want me to listen to it. I might open it up on my phone and listen to it on my phone speakers and just not get the impression that I would have gotten if I had listened to it here while I'm sitting here. You're not really mixing for making it sound great on every sound system. That's never your achievement, because that's impossible. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't fuck it up in an obvious way. What I could do, for example, is I could say, okay, I want to have this sound be very, very wide. So I go stereo spread, and if I'm able to spell, stereo, there we are. I go, for example, a stereo spread, and I'm going to say widening, I want that all the way up, because it sounds nice when it's nice and wide. This sounds really nice on my system, right? But The problem with this is I can clearly tell that this is going to mess up when it sums to mono. And you just have to think about it logically. Can I get away with widening this sound 200%? No, probably not. Go back to 0 and just don't mess it up, right? Because there's so many differences between all of the systems that you're mixing for that you're never going to get an ideal spot, right? There's like a way to just make it sound like it translates well, right? All of the stuff that you usually do. You don't go on your bass line and you don't EQ your bass to be plus 4 dB in the sub bass if you don't have to. You have to think about it intelligently, but there isn't like a trick or practice that you do to ensure that what you're doing makes sense. The way that you think about it is, all of the steps that I'm doing, is there any place where I can mess things up? And if the answer to that is no, then you're in the golden. And if the answer to it is yes, then check out where you're messing up and try to fix it. Tonal shifts were interesting with your family. Yeah, it's one of the things that you have to think about when going back. I like to rehearse, because when we get home we also speak a very, very strong dialect, and when I'm consuming like Dutch content whenever I have the occasion, obviously that dialect is not there. So not only do I need to practice the language again, but also the very strong dialect that we speak at home. So I'll be sitting in the train, because the train ride is like 5 hours, right? So I have nothing to do. I'll have some music on, and what I'll do in the meanwhile is maybe have like an imaginary discussion or something like that, just to get kind of the tonality back. That way when I'm greeting my parents, it's not confusing or strange, and it's not like awkward. I'm just like, hey, how is everybody? How are you doing? And then we get, you know, I get to be home and just spend time with them. I tried to explain this to my parents once, and they couldn't get it. And I guess the reason for it is because they are not fluent in all the languages. In the sense that they speak Dutch. My dad is fluent in English, but when he speaks Italian, which he is not fluent in, I'm gonna be honest here, it's really clear that he speaks with it like a person who is reading like one of those pronunciation books or pronunciation schemes. Do you know the language that they use for pronunciation? Right? The way that you say a certain O or an A or something like that. There's like a whole language for the different ways that you say vowels and stuff like that. It sounds like he is reading from that, but with a Dutch accent. Pronounced like this, and then he just reads that with a Dutch accent. It's fairly clear that he is still in the Dutch mindset. But when you're truly like bilingual, when you it's not like you're translating in your head, right? It's just like, okay, now I'm speaking Italian, and all of the things that you're doing and all of the things that you're thinking are going to be in Italian. When you switch then to English or to Dutch or to whatever other language, it's just going to change your whole mindset. You're not translating from one language to the other. And I think a lot of the things that, when it comes to learning the language, a lot of people have trouble with that, because when you start learning a language, what you start to do obviously is you start with translating. But at some point you have to get out of that mindset again. Of, okay, I'm just going to translate the words and then I'll be able to speak it. Because that's not how language works. You have to think it. Yeah, the attitude changes. It's not like, so say for example that you go to a restaurant and you look at the menu and it says patata al forno, so means potatoes from the oven. It's not like in your head you're going to say, okay, patata al forno. That's going to go potatoes from the oven, and that's going to go give you the idea, oh, it's potatoes. I like potatoes, I'm going to order that. You're immediately going to go from patata al forno to the idea of what that means. And that's really hard to do, to make that shift when you're learning a language. And a lot of people get stuck into always trying to translate. The best way to learn a language, in my opinion, is not to translate it, but to just teach yourself the words and the meaning of the words in that language. Which I guess is really hard to do. Like, how do you explain what a potato is without translating that? There's a lot going on here. Oh, I want this one. Okay, so then this is... I guess these two kind of combine here, because this one also gets loud. Interesting. These are the kind of problems that you run into when you do mixing outside of your production process, because if I had caught this, that there's like two squelches doing the exact same thing in the production, I would have never gone with it. Part of the reason is this is a collaboration, so this is a sound that I made, and this is a sound that the other guy made. I guess for now I'll mix it into a different section, so I can at least see how it fits with the rest of the mix. So for these sounds, the way that I set the volume here, or for example, the way that I mix them in, is I go like, what is the least amounts of presence that I need for these elements that I can get away with? In like, what you want to do is obviously you want to mix it in, but this is not a main element. And if we scroll up, we have a main lead playing over here. So this needs to be on top, right? Then the question becomes, what is the least amount of volume that I need for this to actually work? And then once I have the volume set up, I'll go into any compression or other stuff that I might need to do. Here the same thing. Does this need that much volume? No. Now it's a little bit low, it's become unnoticeable. We still want it in there. True, yeah, it's the same as music. When you're playing a piece of music on your guitar or piano or whatever, you're not actively thinking about, okay, I need to press this note, that note, that note, I need to put my finger there, there, there. It just kind of happens. You're thinking about, okay, in the piece, this is what's coming next, right? And I guess in the same way, almost the exact same way you would handle language. This is very overpowering in the... Here we can... Really, I don't need all of those lower frequencies there. So just do like that. I'm gonna say that this part is a little bit too busy. What I'll probably do for all of these one-shots is go through it with the guy that I'm collaborating with. We'll probably do like a Zoom call or whatever, and just kind of cancel out a bunch of them that we don't need, because it feels a little bit busy in some parts. I'm just going to continue unmute them and treat them like they're supposed to be there, but I'm probably going to end up removing a lot of them. Thinking about it now, because really here you don't really need like something like this, right? Because this is, it's not indicative of the start, because we have a different sound for that probably. Do we? Wait, what? Wait. So we don't have an impact sound here at the, or is it in the effects? Did I accidentally put some of the sounds in the effects? Might be this. There we are. Okay, I was getting worried that I made like a big mistake here. Because what you would want is color. Yeah. So now the idea, I guess, behind this synth is that it's like almost like a delay hit, but a bar late. Right, so it adds a little bit of wash to this part here. That makes more sense, and actually I would maybe look at something like this to be removed. Ideally, the way that I think about it is with the one-shots and all of that stuff, the more like main elements that you have, the less one-shot you should have. So maybe still there's a little bit too much going on here. Gaylord M. Swagger. What is all of the green stuff on his screen for a couple something, please? The green stuff, this is audio files. This is the stuff that I'm mixing. These are the tracks that are going to go into the song that I'm working on. We mix them together to make one song, but I don't know how deep an explanation I need to get here. Maybe you stumbled on my stream and you have no idea what I do here on this channel. So in that case, I put sounds together to make music, like everybody does when they're making music. So now I have to mix them all together to make sure that they work together. I think you have some octave psytrance bass. Are they separate synthesized? Well, the bass line wasn't made by me. So this is a collaboration project. So the bass line was, the kick and the bass was actually not made by me for this project. At least not the rolling bass line. I made the nice and progressive. So I don't know how this was synthesized, but I'm assuming what he did is, because I got it, the way that I got this file was I got them chopped up. So I got a few different bass notes and I was able to arrange it, and he already had like a basic arrangement for it, which I guess we used here. No. Yeah, so this rhythm, the basic like melodic thing, he already provided it for me. In the sense that it was already in the project. So it was already audio file and resampled and all put together nicely, so I didn't have to worry about it. I don't know. To be honest, yes, you would, if you want to do it correctly, you would take all of them individually, all of the notes that you plan on using, and resample them individually. Your bass lines are also always a violet color. Well, fun that you mentioned this now, because when it comes to my template, the classic template of orange, purple, green, then yellow, blue, and then pink, it's going to go away. Because what I've been doing is I've been opening projects like this. Let's wait for Ableton to load. And I'll show my new template. I have now gotten one more like group in there where I'm separating my leads between sequences and one-shots. So for that I needed more colors, and I decided to change everything because that's the way I like it. No small changes, only massive changes, obviously. But now I have drums, basses, synths, one-shots, pads, effects, and vocals. So the green thing are the music sounds that you download from the internet and put effects. No, I made this. I made this stuff. This is the individual sounds that I'm using to make this track. So this one sound, if you listen to it in the track, you can barely hear it because it's in there differently, I would say. There's something else kind of masking it as well. Hello Nomad, welcome. It's kind of funny that we have somebody in chat that doesn't know anything about music production. At least that's what I'm assuming is happening here. Gaylord M. Swagger. Kind of funny that you're staying around for this. Usually people that aren't into music production find this extremely boring, the mixing part, because it's the part where you hear the least difference between what's happening before and after. Okay, so this is clearly some kind of atmosphere, I would say. We'll place it here. How do we get those sounds? We make them. We make them. There's a lot of different software and stuff that you can use to make the individual sounds that you hear. Now this is a collaborative project, so I'm working on this with somebody else. But yeah, normally you just have to make them all yourself. Or use some products that other people make and then you have to buy them. I guess I can show you what I mean. This is not interesting for you actually, but I can show you kind of what I'm on about. In the sense that if I go to my... does it matter that I show the payouts? I don't think it matters. If I go to like my profile of all of the products that I have, all of these products that look like packages, these are all packages of sounds that people can buy to use in different ways. So some of them are wavetables, some of them are tones, some of them are presets, some of them are just plain old sounds, like the kicks are just a sound that you drop in there and then you use. There's even remix packs, so that's a pack of these longer lines that you can buy and then you can use it yourself for creating your own tracks or redoing the mix if you want to. But yeah, so either you buy them, like the products that I'm showing here, or you just make them. I guess my title, Mixing Some Music, can give people the idea that I'm DJing, which I'm not. This isn't a DJ set, don't worry. Yeah, no, the ones that I just showed you, those are the ones that I make. So I actually sell those. But normally other people, yeah, would buy them and you could use them, the sounds in various different ways to create the music that you want to make. From who you buy them? Well, depends. Again, preferably you'd buy them from me, because I sell them. But normally there's like whole companies that can I buy this music and put on YouTube? No. This isn't you're not buying music in these packages. You're buying the individual sounds, and sometimes not even that, just the tools to create those sounds. We are making this music. This music does not exist yet. This song. This isn't the song that already exists and that I'm like working on. This does not yet exist, and I have to create the final song for it. That's what I'm working on now, making sure that all of the elements that I have planned for this final song actually work together. That's why you see me turning on these individual sounds so that I can hear, okay, how do they work? And then, can you sell them also? No way. No. If you buy a package, then you use them for the music and that's it. Most packages, including mine, come with a disclaimer that you cannot just resell the same product. But to be honest, that's like it's the same with a movie, right? Can you take a movie that you buy on DVD and can you then resell it? No. You cannot do that. For obvious reasons. Yes, I make this music. Yes, exactly. That's here. Hello, Sleepwalker. That's indeed called piracy if you were to take somebody's product, something that they spend a lot of time making, and then just sell it as if it was your own. And Pete, welcome. It's kind of strange that you're here. How did you find my channel, Swagger? I'm just going to call you Swagger because the other words are, you know. I don't have to explain that, hopefully. Okay, so this is nice with the modulation that's on here. It's kind of like going up and down in volume now because we cut out all of that lower part. It's just kind of funny to me that Swagger is here, because you would assume that YouTube would know that my content is like purely and only for music producers, right? Because YouTube knows. Yes, yeah. So I'm live streaming, but how did you, like, did I get recommended to you? Because that's very strange. Because I assume that YouTube would know that my content is specifically for only people that make music. So if you have no idea about music production, and you have no idea how to get into it and making music and stuff like that, and you have no interest in sidetrans, which I don't know if you have or not, I just find it really strange that somebody is showing up in my chat and who has never made any music before and that does not know anything about the process. I guess it's kind of funny as well, you know, getting a perspective of somebody that doesn't know something about the things that you do. Don't feed the troll. It's not a troll. He seems genuinely interested in how this works. So I'm here to explain it to him. That's the point of a live stream. It would be really harsh to assume that he was trolling just because he doesn't know anything about music production. Like the first time you got into music production and you would be seeing this, and I open up a plugin like this, you have no idea what's going on, right? You don't even know what this is that you're looking at even without the plugin on. Yeah, see? He thought I was mixing like a DJ. And I can understand where that's coming from. Just look at my title. Mixing some music. That could refer to DJing. That could refer to like live mixing between songs. It's just not it. There's like two words that mean the same thing.
This is done through an ancient technology known as the dream machine.
There's a lot of one-shots in here that are just appearing only once. I'm not sure if I'm actually a fan of that, but I guess we have to deal with it. Okay, I'm going to probably leave this muted because listening to that sound now, it's not going to fit in the track. Red, perfect. Hello, Michael. Welcome. Doom Raider as well. I don't think anyone who has heard Psytrance doesn't wonder how it's done. Yeah, no. There is probably quite a disconnect between the people that make music and people that don't make music. Like, I have a friend that doesn't make music and just doesn't know anything about how music production works. And the conversations that you have with people like that it's really strange trying to explain what you're doing. Even like mixing, right? I'm saying, okay, I'm taking all of the sounds and trying to make them fit together within the domains of like the way I can make a digital audio file. You cannot explain that the way that, for example, space is limited when you're mixing, right? All of that stuff, it's really hard to explain what we're actually doing when we're mixing, when we're producing. Sound design, try explaining sound design to someone. Just the basics of sound design. It's not gonna happen. Nice. Psytrance where you buy the sounds? No, Psytrance is the genre that we're making. Psytrance. 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 Sound design is the most fun about production for me. What else will be left? Arranging and mixing. Yeah, I guess, yeah. It depends on how you write music. Like, I like to think about my Psytrance, the way that I think about it is I'd like to basically write it from somebody's perspective who has done like 2/3 of his production not working on Psytrance. So I think of in terms of almost like, you know, the chorus, the verse, and stuff like that. in the sense that I like to give it a little bit of story, give it a little bit of like actual songwriting into it. So for example, here a good example would be that this track was a little bit bland and I decided to add like a flute to it, right? That's a very nice flute, I like it. That's what I really like about production, is being able to add those kind of unique elements. This is just the preset that I loaded, and then I played the melody and I drew in the melody in MIDI. And now it's like, this is not really sound design, right? It's just kind of loading up a sound. That's not really sound design. So for me, the writing process, I would say, and sometimes sound design is part of the writing, in the sense that sometimes you just have a particular sound that you want, and you write your track in a way that that sound fits or doesn't fit, something like that. Which preset is it? It's either one of the presets from Omnisphere, or it might be the preset from that pack that I demoed a long time ago. If I go to my live streams, I actually have it, right? I demoed this a long time ago. Do you guys remember that I did like a sponsored stream? And they gave me a preset pack to work with. Tunecraft. Tunecraft Proxima Species has a very nice flute in it. It might be from there. I don't know if I can verify that. I don't want to open up the project and start digging for it, because that would take too much time. Speaking about time, see how much? Yeah, that's what I thought. So while I'm doing this streaming and all of that stuff, I'm actually rendering one of the music videos that I'm working on. So you can see a still image here from one of the music videos. You can see it's longer than I expected. I wanted to end the stream by showing you the music video, but I cannot do that, because obviously this is already longer than I plan on streaming. I was hoping that it would be ready sooner, but I guess because I'm doing other stuff, including the streaming itself, it's it's funny how you change color when scrolling. Yeah, that's just Reaper. It's the fact that my screen is relatively bright in respect to the lights that I have, and the fact that this is like a very low quality camera right now, because I cannot use the main camera. Unless I do some firmware hack, which I don't really feel like doing. Here we have two more muted sounds that we need to add. You made a full music video? Yes, so I'm going to be making 4 more for the EP that's coming up on the 20th, which, by the way, why can't I use it? It lasts 30 minutes before the sensor says that it's becoming too hot, and then it automatically shuts off. So that's why the Nikon camera, it doesn't like being on for long periods of time. There's a firmware hack that you can do so that it just bypasses that check, but I don't feel comfortable actually installing that on my brand new camera. It's normal. It's a protection measure. It's just to make sure that the sensor doesn't heat up too much, so that it like doesn't burn itself, right? Like the other day, yesterday I recorded 3 videos in a row, and for the first video, halfway through, it like shut off because of the half an hour timer, and then it wouldn't turn back on for a good 2 to 3 minutes, because it was saying like, you've been using this camera so long now, if you turn it on right now, it's going to be too hot and it's going to damage itself. So it's like a protection. It's just so that you can, you cannot really break it by overheating it. Either way, I wanted to market my upcoming EP here. You guys can already, if you want, go into my announcements and see the EP. It still says the old version here, but if you go here, you have like pre-saves, and more should become available later for other services as they accept it. For now, Spotify is available, and yeah, this will be the EP that I'm working on, and this is going to include some of the tracks that you guys have been really liking on the stream. Usually some of the stuff that I put on during the break, right? A fellow DistroKid user. I just switched to DistroKid. This is my first release on their platform because my old, and I'll switch back to my old distributor if I can, Sounddrop, because they are very good with support, and I like that. The reason why I went with DistroKid is because they're just faster. Sounddrop, it takes them a month plus to actually get everything out to the service, whereas DistroKid, it's like 2 days, right? So I can quickly push something out. Now I have my EP ready. Okay, EP pushed out. That forces me also to work on all of the music videos, all of the artwork and that stuff, because obviously at some point it just needs to be ready if it's going to release. One of the things that I've thought about doing is opening up the way that I do music videos. I can show you an example, I think. I still have like an old render from it. This is just a basic, like, first render. There's a lot of things to tweak about it. Like render stop and start again. But I've thought about making this like a service again. Because if I skip I don't know if you guys... Yes, because I'm playing. Yeah. What I was saying is that I might open up doing visuals for other people, because doing visuals, like, I'm getting to a point where I say, okay, this is actually looking good, right? Stuff like this. Now you should be able to hear me. Yes. It reacts. Yes, this is reactive to the music. Now the color changing effect of my camera should be a lot more obvious, of my screen I should say. But here's another cool effect. One of the cool things that I was able to do is take this glitch effect and tie it to 16 notes. Right, so you get this. So essentially what I can do is I can take all of the templates that I've made over the last year for also the old music videos and all of the stuff that I've been doing for this EP. I can combine that all into one big template, and then I can just, because it literally takes me half an hour to make a music video, right? Excluding the rendering, which takes a long time. The way that I convert from Ableton projects into After Effects stuff and then just have it all synced in time and have everything ready, it's literally, if I have the right template set up, it's half an hour maximum to make a music video. Even if somebody else tells me, okay, I want this artwork in the foreground, I want this artwork in the background, then I can just say, okay, I can replace these two images. Give me the song, I'll make something cool with the song, something reactive with the song, and then boom, it's done. It's really easy to make once I have everything set up. And now I have done like the first setup for this EP, and I can basically convert that into a template. It would be cool to do something with that maybe. Maybe make a product, maybe just offer it as a service. Not quite technical hitch levels of music video, but I like it. It's getting there. This is a first render. Keep in mind, this is a very first version of it, so it's going to only get better. I'm now actually doing the second render, which is what I showed before. This stuff here. This is already looking a lot better. It's less glowy, right? So it maintains a lot more of the detail and the sharpness. Obviously, there's no actual animation going on, right? It's just the artwork is kind of moving. I'm not actually animating anything. That's one of the things that I just cannot do. Dynamics. Actually, let's get a very slow compression going. I'm almost going to do like a volume. What's it called? A leveler or a volume follower? One of those things that is used to kind of squash everything over very long time spans. Yeah, I don't like that it just kind of stops here, I feel. That's kind of strange. I don't know if that's like a production thing here. We can just smear this out with reverb because we go like cathedral, something like this. Yeah, that really, yes, kind of takes over. I want this to be a bit brighter. Yeah, I'd love to have crazy animated music videos, but it's way too much effort. Yeah, so in that case, I would be able to make it for you, right? I haven't thought it out in terms of like a business plan or anything like that, but I would love to do visuals at some point if, you know, it's like needed. If I can make a little bit of extra money doing visuals for some people and it makes them happy, then it would be nice. The same with the mixing services. I'm now working towards a point where I can get actual clients, people that would pay me to, you know, mix their music for them. That's the point where I want to get to. Currently, I'm not feeling comfortable doing that with the current setup that I have, the small speakers. But hopefully in a new apartment, when I eventually get to move in September, I have to move. I cannot stay here. My lease is up and I cannot renew because I'm no longer a student. But it does mean, yeah, I can start to, you know, try to get some clients for mixing, try to maybe get some clients for this visual stuff, and get my money that way in all different avenues in the music industry, I guess. Hello, Sonic Flux. Welcome. Have you ever made different music, or was it always just psytrance? For, I would say, 70% of my music career, I wasn't making psytrance. I started out at the beginning of 2013, making, just experimenting, I guess. And then I quickly went into kind of like house and big room and that kind of subgenre. I stayed there for a while until I decided to switch up and start producing dubstep trap. I've experimented with drum and bass. I've done a lot of mid-tempo, which is kind of Raz music. I don't know if you know the artist Raz, but that's kind of the genre. It's very low BPM dubstep kind of music. Right, the growly, aggressive sound, but with a BPM of like 110, maybe maximum, and the minimum being like 90 BPM. So very slow, but very aggressive music. I did that for a while, and then at some point I just decided, okay, the next step is going to be psytrance, and I took that a lot more seriously. I started a new artist profile, which was Projector, and now I'm here. Now I'm just, it kind of just took off, right? With all of my other projects that I did music-wise, I always had a reason to say, okay, this project is just completely not working. Let's go on to move on to the next. And Projector is the first one that is working to a certain extent, in that people are interested in the music and the things that I do online. So just keep on doing them. And there will inevitably become a point where people are no longer interested in Projector and what I have to offer under that alias. And at that point, I just move on again, like I've been doing up until now. At some point, people are just going to get bored of you, and that will be either in a few months, maybe a few years. You never know when. You just need to be prepared to be able to take that. Content is great. That's a little bit of a problem, actually, that my content is doing so well. It sounds like a strange thing to say. I know. I'm really happy that I'm doing so well in terms of teaching people how to make music, right? Especially in the last month. I can show you my analytics. If I go to 90 days. If I show this, right, you can see over the last month, this has just been growth. This is just me getting views, getting massive amounts of views, getting new subscribers every day, right? I talked about this jump. In 3 days, I gained 100 subscribers. I pushed that out on my, my community page. But it's not slowing down anytime soon. What I do have a very big issue with is that none of the people that subscribe to me for my tutorials care about my music. Like, I can post... if I don't post my music on YouTube, nobody will see it, right? There's a few people that are listening to me on Spotify, maybe 10, 20 people that would actively listen to my music every month or whatever, but it's not more than that, even though I have 8,000 followers. Would you say it's necessary to create new aliases for new types of music or content? Not necessary, it's helpful. Right, having a clean slate where, especially if you're going to do music production education, you don't want people to get the impression that you don't know what you're talking about. And sometimes your old music can give people that impression because it's just not good enough in terms of quality. Not saying that my old music was. And at some point I'll probably go through all of my old music. Maybe makes for an interesting video as well. When I have like something cool to celebrate, I might use that. But yeah, in terms of your alias, you have to think about it in terms of a brand, right? Because that's really what you are. You are interesting in the same way that Coca-Cola is interesting to people. People don't necessarily go out looking for Coca-Cola, but when it's there, they'll definitely drink it. And the same is true with your music. People don't necessarily go out looking for your music. Nobody has ever said, oh, I need to listen to this specific artist. What people do is they open up their playlist and they see, okay, this is my playlist, this is what Spotify has compiled for me this week, and they just hit shuffle and they'll listen to whatever music that's coming up. What is needed is that you make an impression on the people that do come in contact with you, right? So that means that you need to make sure that whenever people do come in contact with you, your music is of such a quality that people are, that they want more. And if you have an alias that you started making music under 7 years ago and you still have that old music up there, it might be that old music can lead people to say, okay, this person doesn't know what they're doing, listen to this music, it sounds terrible. Nice. Wave Morpher, welcome. I'm giving this answer. The answer that I'm giving it from a purely I want to succeed in the music industry mindset, right? Because at the end of the day, one of the first questions that you should ask yourself is, do I really want to succeed in the music industry? I think I do, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe I find out that touring isn't for me, or that playing live isn't for me, and I would just do this for the rest of my life. Growing this YouTube channel and whatever. I don't know. Honestly, there's not much to EQ here. Yeah, my perspective is a little bit different. I mostly make music to listen to it myself. I mean, at that point, then it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all, right? If you do it for yourself, if your goal is to make it in the industry, then you have to think about all of the actions that you do, right? What is the right alias? What is the right way to release? What is the right release plan? How am I going to advertise stuff? How am I going to promote it? All of that stuff. Where am I going to push the advertisement money that I have, the advertisement budget that I have? All of that stuff you have to think about, and you have to write a plan for it, and you from that point you can start to think about, okay, does this make sense? It makes no sense. But if you just make music for the sake of making music, then just hit upload and leave it there. Don't worry about like how the release goes and stuff like that, right? And at that point, don't even worry about the alias that you're using or any of that. I don't like this tone here. Yeah, I'm thinking about that stuff too a little, but it's not the important for me. I'm going to give it to you rough. If you're not doing like music production from the perspective of, okay, I want to make it in the industry, then you're never going to make it, because there's a lot of people that do, right? It's completely fine how you make your music, whatever you want for your music. I don't judge on whether you want to release it to get the most amount of hype possible, or you just want to release it for the free views that you're going to get from yourself, your mother, and your father. What's important is that if you say, okay, I want to go for it, I want to make this my career, I want to do everything in my power to allow me to make music for the rest of my life, then you have to fully commit to it. Because if you don't fully commit to it, somebody else will, and they will win, and they will, make it so that at the end of the day, you're not succeeding. Because it's important to remember that, in essence, what we're doing is we are competing with each other. If you release a piece of music, Pete, and that's psytrance and people like it, then they are spending more time listening to your music and therefore less time listening to my music. So I'm in essence competing with you. Now I don't see it like that. Obviously that's a very extreme way to see it. But if you want to do it right, and if you want to say, okay, I'm fully going to go for it in terms of trying to make the most out of this music career, then you would be in that mindset, right? Like, everybody's a competitor. How can I become better than everybody else? For a while, I actually thought like that, but now that I'm actually finding a little bit of success with YouTube and all of the stuff that I'm doing in there, I found it much more rewarding seeing other people grow than myself. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break because I need to pee. I just had a big bottle of beer, so that shouldn't surprise anyone. What I'm going to do is I wanted to play this music while I was going on a break, but it's not really finished yet. So I'll just put on a different track. Actually, I'll put on a track from the EP that's coming up. That's interesting, at least. Where is my... There we are. I guess this is my favorite track, I would say. Yes, and I don't like to be that competitive about music. That's why I primarily have a different job and always... Yeah, so then it's just a hobby, right? Then it's just something that you like to do, and you'll see how it goes. That's respectable in the same way. This planet is a bit upside down. The most important thing should be how good your music is, not how well you can sell it. Well, kinda, but... Okay, so the problem with that is that everybody has a different taste in music. So you cannot have a subjective good music, right? Even in terms of like mix and master. Yeah, you can definitely fuck things up, but there are small differences between mixes and masters that you can bring in, which is just a purely aesthetic choice. So at the end of the day, it is how much you can sell that is important, because there is no perfect music. There's a lot of people that say, don't let your hobby become your job, right? Like I'm doing now. But it is indeed true that you think about music in a different way when you're required to you know, make your money out of it. Outsider, you're just in for the break. I'm going to take a quick break here. But I'll be right back working on this other mix. In the meantime, I'm just putting on a track so that you have something to listen to. And then I'll be back.
much like being cocooned inside the Matrix while we all live out our lives.
While we're listening to this, I can talk over it, but when the other thing is playing, I can't, I guess. Does this work? Now it should be good, right? Okay. Yeah, I cannot speak when the music is playing because then obviously it bleeds into the microphone, which is what I decided to turn on the microphone so I could already talk to you guys, but that just doesn't work. And I want to finish tracks when I'm playing them. I think that's nice. At least I like to see that everybody likes the music. The Matrix vocal is generated, so I use the text-to-speech to generate that because I just wanted kind of like a robot voice, I guess. It's not saying Matrix, it is saying Matrix. I guess that could become a meme, hopefully. Would be nice. I know that you guys know, but still. It's funny to have a few of those like inside jokes, right? Which, to be frank, there's not a lot of stuff that is like specific to my channel. If you look at a lot of other YouTubers, at least that I follow, they have not in the Sidetrend space, but like in general, the bigger YouTubers that I follow, they all have like catchphrases and memes and stuff that happen in their videos that is like purely tied to them. And the nice part is that they can like put it on a t-shirt and you know, have a little bit of merch, have a little bit of fun, have a little bit of, you know, an inside joke, right? Something that only the people that are part of that community really understands. And I've thought about it, like, okay, if I want to start producing t-shirts, what am I going to put on the t-shirts? Because I have nothing. Yeah, the Oh No My Queen. It's from the one chess guy, Rosen, right? I only follow Gotham chess, so I don't really know. But I do know what that phrase is coming from, and just that tells you what kind of thing that would be nice to have. Just create some nice psychedelic graphs for your t-shirts. You have the skills. Well, not really. I'm gonna be honest. I can go over this. The EP cover, as you can see, it took a lot of time. There's a lot of things that I just tried, and I just kind of randomly settled on putting this image on top of one of these images. I think this one here, and just doing like some color grading to it. And that's it, right? It's not like I'm doing cool graphic designs. I'm not making my own art here, right? I'm just combining a bunch of AI images that then with a little bit of magic, right? Because it's moving and it's cool and it's nice and it's glitchy and all of that stuff. This, I guess, yeah, but how do I put this on the t-shirt? Patrons today was another thing. If it keeps on, like, okay, for one stream, there's like things that we have that are funny, that are inside jokes and stuff like that, but there's nothing that is like part of my content, I would say. Not something that's like instantly recognizable, like, oh no, my queen. Maybe I should just start playing chess. I'm not going to play with Klaus because I know you will beat my ass in chess. I actually played chess right before stream today. Oh no, my queen, I wonder what's that. Yeah, so see, you don't know the person that we were talking about, Mr. Rosen. He is like a chess YouTuber, I guess you would say, right? I mean, he's also just a very good player and like goes to tournaments and stuff like that. But he sacrifices like his how would you even explain that? When he's playing chess, he has this on his live stream where he puts his queen in a spot where it can be taken, so that he can when it's actually taken, he can actually get a bigger advantage than losing the queen. Yeah, it's Eric Rosen. He is as I said, he's actually a good player. So he goes around and he tricks people into taking his queen and then becoming completely destroyed by kind of like the position that he gets out of that. Right? It's called like a sacrifice, where you place a piece in a way that by having that piece captured, you actually get an advantage from that. Still a little bit too loud here. One of the things about that though, with like catchphrases and memes and stuff like that, it's not like you can force it. It just kind of has to happen. I cannot sit here and say, okay, patrons, we're going to put that on a t-shirt and that's going to sell and we're going to put that everywhere and I'm going to put it in my titles and I'm going to put it in the Discord, and it's going to be a funny meme. It just kind of has to grow naturally. Even now that I mention it, it's probably going to look weird if I were to make a t-shirt which would say patrons, because only a few people saw it in the stream and it was funny, and then we forgot all about it, and then we just kind of, it finished there. I would buy a patron shirt. Deep, I like to play checkers. Yeah, he is insane in terms of like chess. I mean, all content creators in chess are pretty insane. If you're watching like Hikaru and the kind of calculations and stuff that he does as well. nice. It's cool to be mixing with this kind of production, in that I can just, for 90% of the sounds, I can just set the volume and it will be okay. I feel like this is in the wrong spot, though. Yeah, if I put this here. That's where it belongs. Gotham is also pretty insane. I mean, yeah, all of the big content creators that you see know what they're doing, right? They're either international masters, or they're very high elo, or they're frank, and in that case they're just amazing by pure talent, without even needing a label like international master or grandmaster or whatever. Just the label frank is enough. Again, that's going to be an inside joke that nobody's going to get unless you are familiar with chess content. Oh right, this is part of the synth. Iron impact, this one. Kind of like a reverse sweep for this sound here, I would say. How many more things do I need to enable? One element that I'm just not enabling there. We have a sub bass in the intro. Low mids and mids. Well, it's the hardest part of the mix, because it's the part where everything kind of sits, right? Your bass line clearly has the sub bass together with the kick. Your percussions really have the high end, so all of the synths can get out of the way there. There's the, the crash and the effects that also contribute to the high end. But the mid range is really where everything sits, because you have your bass line, you have your kick, that's part of that. You have some of your percussions that maybe go down to those frequencies. You have all of your leads that are in there, and there's a lot of different leads and sequences on top of each other and all of that stuff. The way that you have to think about the mid range is that it's how should I say it? It's where all of the magic of the mix happens. And what I mean by that is, when you're mixing, the way that you think about a mix, right, is that you think about it in terms of functionalities. Okay, take this sound. This sound is this plug here. Right? What I can say is, what does this plug need to do within the mix? Oh, it needs to be standing out, because this is like a melodic element. It's adding a lot of emotion to the track. It's a really nice plug. I want this to stand out. So this is going to be a main element. What you then need to do is you need to go through your track and see if there's any obstruction. And usually what we think about with obstruction is like kick and bass mixing, right? Phase aligning, making sure that the kick and bass themselves are clean, that they're not overlapping, that there's no weird stuff going on here. There's a little bit, but I actually have been taking care of that in the production already, so don't have to worry about that. But for example, here we spend a lot of time with our kick and our bass, making sure that there's like no stuff in the beginning here, so that the kick transient can sit in it. All of that stuff, you can just apply that to the mid-range, in the sense that you can say, okay, if I have this plug here, this one, which changes do I need to make to the other sound for this plug to do its job? Which is essentially what mixing is throughout the whole frequency spectrum. Is okay, I have these elements with this amount of importance. I have these elements which are a little bit less important. What do these important elements need to do in the mix for them to stand out and to fulfill their function? What do these background elements need to do to fulfill their function? That's the basic way in how you decide any mixing decision, and that's regardless of whether it's mid-range or not. The two best tips that I can give is always think about mixing in a functional way. What is the function of the sound that I'm currently adding to this mix, or that I'm currently introducing into this mix? And the second thing is to listen to a lot of other tracks. What are other people doing? How does psytrance usually sound? What do the sounds that I'm adding currently to the mix, what do they usually do in terms of their function? And then mix accordingly. We have two more.
This is a dream machine.
So for example, this lead for me now does not have enough power. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to compress it so that it gets more. Deciding the importance from top to down. Yes. Can we do them before and after compressor? Of course. Shift. In this case, the compressor, what it's doing is it's reacting to the fact that this sound becomes a lot louder towards the end. Obviously, these two get summed together into the group that the compressor is currently staying on. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm just boosting the volume in everything but the loudest part here. So there's a volume boost in this case, right? So as you can see, the amount of compression less than the outputs that we have here. So we're going to get an increase in gain overall, increase in loudness, which is going to make it sound better just on its own, the fact that it's louder. But in this case, that's exactly what I wanted to do, because I just want this sound to be more present, right? More loud, more in your face, that kind of thing. And here we're actually doing some gain reduction towards the end, where if I were to just turn up the volume, the increase in volume would become problematic. So here you can see we went above the 2.8, so in that case, if I were to just boost the volume by that amount, it would be way too much. It would be way too loud. I mean, that's the point of a compressor. In terms of other sounds, we have this one here. Okay. I'm actually done with adding all of the elements to it. I thought that that would be the whole stream today, to be honest, but I guess what's happening is that the production itself is so good already that there's not a lot of immediate changes that I have to make. And usually the way that I like to work is all of these effects that I like to add at this point, right? When I have all of the tracks added, I like to leave it resting for a while, the track. So within my normal workflow, I cannot actually go in here and say, okay, now I need to change this, 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 and this. So to be honest, I don't quite know what to do with this project. As I said, I thought it would take a lot longer for this project to actually, get to a point where I can say, okay, the initial mix is done. Let's get to the details of the mix, I should say. And normally I do that in a separate session, on a separate time, separate day. That gives me the best results. So I don't actually want to continue this mix right now. What I could do is maybe some production. If you guys are interested, I could start a new project, I guess. We did chat a lot about chess before, but maybe it would be cool. I don't know. I've never done it, but maybe play a few games of chess on stream. If you guys are interested. Because, as I said, I cannot continue here right now within my normal workflow. Yes, production. We'll do some production then. Unless there's more animo for chess. If people enjoy chess more than production, then I would do some chess. I'll play a few games. I'll at least put on the Ableton Live suite so that we can always jump back into production. Make a gridless sound design collage based on chat suggestions. I prefer playing Titanfall 2. You know, the difference between chess and Titanfall 2 is that you don't have to install chess. I can just boot up my account. Can I actually show that on stream? Is there personal information on, like, if you go to chess.com, does it show like your email address or something? I don't think it does. I can just play a game of chess and you guys can see how well I do at chess. Look at my elo, my 291 points that I've gathered. I'm not good at chess, I'll immediately tell you. You see, this already confuses me. Why is he putting out his queen? I know that he wants to do like a trick where he goes here with the bishop and then attacks this thing. So I just want that not to happen, I guess. And then he goes there. Well, I'm not going to. You see? This is what I mean. Can I trap his queen now? I mean, I can force to trade it. But that still leaves me without a rook. I want to, I guess, counterattack him. I'm playing too fast maybe, because that was the reason why I lost my rook there. I mean, what is there to do? What is there? There isn't really anything that I can threaten now. What I should probably do is just make space for this guy. I don't want to trade pieces now, do I? I'll go here. Which will get my bishop trapped if I go here. So I just... Interesting. What is there to take for him here? Except this. That doesn't really get him anywhere, does it? But I can also not defend it. So it's best to just get another piece out there. Take the bishop. Till now. Of course, now I don't want to do that because that hangs my bishop. So I will place mine here if I want. If he wants to trade, then I can trade him. But because I'm like down a thing, right? Because I'm down a rook, it's not a good idea to just trade everything because then he's just going to crush me. If we trade everything one by one, like he's going to take this now. Wait. He moved his king. Let me think here. He moved his king, which means he can no longer castle. Anyway, right? Because if you move your king, you can no longer castle. That means that either he did that for no reason, or there is something that I potentially have that could like actually threaten him. Which there isn't, because the only check that I had on this square would have been to go here. I can actually draw arrows. How do I delete the arrow again? Okay, you have to redrag it. But if I go here, doesn't he just go that? And then it's all good? He's making space for his tower. Yeah, but I'm just going to long castle, so that doesn't matter. Like, you can place it on this file, but there's nothing to gain from him, for him, right? Okay, now I'm just going to attack your knight. I mean, okay. The only thing that I haven't... I know I'm down, right? Because I messed up in the opening. But I can just block everything like this. This is stupid. I'm done. Why did I do it like that? I lose everything. I know. I'm not good at chess. I warned you guys that I'm not good at this game. I mean, I have not. What do I have? I have nothing. That's why I don't want to play you, because I know that you actually know how to play this game. And I don't. Like, what do I even do? I can give this guy an attack, but then he's just going to move, and I have the same problem in that I can't really do anything. I mean, okay. Where is he going to go? He's going to go to this guy. But I cannot defend that guy. There's no way for me to prevent him from either taking this thing. No, he is just going to take this. With the knight. And if he takes that, he's going to take this. With the rook. And then I'm just screwed. He's going to go f7. If I don't move my king, he's going to go f7. He's going to go here, because then he gets this guy and this guy. If I move my king, then that will no longer happen, because he no longer has that. And then he will just take my pawn. So either way, I'm fucked. Right? I mean, I put the king in the way that he could get checked, I guess. There's a delay, so I cannot actually read chat. I mean, this is a lost cause. I just got messed up by this guy. This guy knows what he's doing. It's one of the chess hustler guys on his alt account. You can leave the WP part because I didn't really play well. As I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here to provide an entertaining stream. He's going to do the exact same thing. He's going to do the same thing that lost me a rook in the last one. So I don't actually want to allow that. Which means that I need to defend this pawn. Right? Because his goal is now to go bishop here. And then attack this pawn for mate. Right? Which you just block. Yeah. Because now he can do it. And now this knight is free to kind of move anywhere. And his whole plan is dead. Like, he's probably going to... Okay. Okay. I was like, okay, he's going to attack the knight, and then I have to move it again, and he just... Okay. I mean, at this point... Yeah. It was the same thing. I was prepared now, right? That's one of the things. I do seem to learn a little bit when it comes to these things, especially when I'm doing it like live on stream, because then I actually feel like I need to win. When I'm playing for myself, I also like to just mess around and see what works and what doesn't. But him giving me his queen on the third move, I didn't expect that. Let's fight with Klaus. I would like to play him at some point, but I think I'm just not ready for now. I mean, look at my points. What's like your elo level? Here we just start like this, right? Kind of the basic way to start. Get your knights out, get your middle pawns out. I mean, this doesn't bother me if I move this away, because it's still defended. But if I place it there, he is going to attack my knight twice, which is not what I want. So I'm going to place this. I don't have to deal with this, right? Because it's not like he can do anything but trade a knight for bishop, and I'm actually okay with that. A bit over 1,000, yeah, that's what I thought. Because now all this has done for me is, yes, I've doubled this, but now I can play rook here, and I just have this whole control over this thing here, the file. Yeah, I would get absolutely crushed by you, Klaus. Projector was taken, so I just wrote or not behind it, and that's it. Okay. Queen there. This is actually undefended except for the king. Which is not a big deal, because he doesn't have any reinforcements on this. And the only way he could get reinforcements is if he were to place something here, which at that point I just take. Right? So he cannot actually pose a threat here. What he can do is take this pawn, which I don't want, so I'm going to push it. I mean, he still can't get in. I have control over this whole file. And he cannot get... Yeah, he could get his bishop like here, right? But then I just take. I like how my chat is a lot more excited about me playing chess than me mixing music. Hello, Sophist. Welcome. We're playing a little bit of chess because we don't know what else to do. Again, even if he pins me here and trades, potentially, putting me in check, I just take and put my rook here. That's an advantage for me, because the trade is equal. It's 3 for 3. Isn't that right? Like, is there a disadvantage to me to have him just take that? Or should I try to, I don't know, do this? Which is a fork between the queen and this. I just take this. He still has the same problem of having to deal with a threat on the queen and the rook. And now I just take the rook. This is an advantage for me, right? Reactor likes to play Counter-Strike. Yes, I do play some Counter-Strike once in a while, yeah. Is there a disadvantage for moving this pawn forward? What I'm thinking is that if I don't put it forward, he is going to take, which doesn't really matter, actually, because I can retake again. I actually want him to take. So I'm just going to play like a... I guess I play like this. So it restricts him even more. Okay. Now he has an extra thing here. So I can play this to defend it more. Because then he would go this, 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 right? Is there a way to remove all arrows? Or do I have to... Okay, he took a pawn. What does that mean for me? I don't really have anything outside of the pawns that I have. Like, there isn't any square that I can put my rook on that it becomes a threat to him. I mean, unless I just do this, which is annoying to him, but nothing more. I cannot actually check him because of the knight. Yeah, should I go there? Should I move forward? I mean, now of course I need to protect my rook because it's being attacked. Is there an elegant way I can do that? I guess I can go like this. No, because then he can check me. Like this. He cannot check in any way. And it protects the rook by the queen. Yeah, he's going to threaten my rook, but I'm just going to move it back here. And as soon as he moves his knight, I would be able to get in if his king isn't there. But he'll leave his king there probably. But I could do the same thing here, right? I can set up this same threat that I have right here, and then he would need a rook to defend for that threat. Well, not anymore, because I cannot actually retreat there, I guess. What does that do for him? Now he can check me here. Or he can do like this. And I just go like this. Wait, what? Actually won. Oh wow. I was like, okay, I'll give him another check, and then suddenly it was, wait, it's mate. I thought about it because I thought that this pattern was nice. The fact that this is like taking all of it, right? But I did not see that this rook would be covering this part, and that there's actually no way for him to block the like this check directly. But yeah, that's like a clean mate. That was actually good. Let's do one more and then we'll get into some more production. I actually want to be productive today as well. Okay. It's new. What does that mean for me? That means nothing, right? I can just put out another piece. He will defend. And I just... Do I kick it out? No, because he's just going to take and then focus his attention again here. Which means I should probably go here so that I can counterattack. Right? It's like a stupid move because all it does is it baits out him putting a pawn forward. But then I can go back and potentially trade, and the idea is that now this part is weak. Right, so we just go like that. I guess I tripled my pawns, that's not a good thing. But either he has to take, or I'm untripling them. And then I go here. Reconnection successful. Drop there for a split second, but I should be back. I can go here again, and I just mean like trade a knight for a knight. And either he takes, yeah, he just takes like that, or if this or that, that doesn't really matter. At least for me. Okay. Probably pin this. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's the one of the things that I mess up a lot is leaving something like unguarded while I'm making the move that is attacking the thing that is then going to take it. Right? So what happened was is I moved this here to attack the queen, which then just fucked up here. Right? So it's I gave it a reason to go to the place that I didn't want it to go to, I guess. My question is, how do I deal with this now? Because it's actually very strong here. I cannot just like take it, and I don't want this to get my rook. So I guess I should, first of all, get my rook to safety. Because it's also defending my king there. Yeah, I was just depressed because my girlfriend died. What the f... Whoa. That's terrible, dude. I'm sorry to hear. I was having fun playing chess and now it's gone all deep and dark. Free knight? That's true, that is a free knight. I already attacked this though, so... I mean, either he's going to move his knight now, or his bishop, or... I mean, there's not really anything he can do with the queen. I guess he could go here, but then I just move up. I mean, okay, I just block, right? And now we're at the same spot. He has two things hanging. Or one is tradable, one is hanging. And now I just go here. He cannot take this, he cannot take that. And I just take this. No, I can't. Because the knight will attack me. Ah. Take the queen, yes. Actually, yes. It took me a while, but I found it. There we are. And now I can actually take this knight with the rook because it's protected. Right? Or better still, he just resigns. Yes. Yeah. That's actually a pretty big blunder. How did that happen? This is the nice thing. You can go back and actually see when like the queen became free. Because obviously he didn't place it there immediately, right? Apparently this is all still doing good. I'm actually doing good here. It doesn't even say that this was a blunder, leaving it like this. It just does it think that it just gets like pushing the queen out here without any gold doesn't mean like anything? Because I just moved the rook, it's defended, and then it's yeah, apparently the advantage is for me, right? 2.3. He checks me, I block. Ah, then he takes the pawn, and then I went with the rook. Which... Okay, so if he then checks... Ah, okay, so he could have played this move, meaning that I would be forced back here. Wait, what? I would be forced to give up my rook. And then he just takes. Or not. Or does he go like this? Ah, no, because there's a knight. Because otherwise, if the knight was like not here, this would be mate. Right? Because it's... No, because then you go there. This is a hard game. Let's do some producing. It's getting too hard. Let's get back into production. I'll put this on the right spot where it needs to be. I want to start another high-tech track. It's the professor is a humble guy. Yes. I'm the professor in music production, and that's about it. No chess. I want to start another high-tech track, and the reason for that is because I've really enjoyed working on the last one, and you guys enjoyed it as well. All of the content that came out of it got really appreciated. So I'm just gonna do it again, and we'll leave chess for now, and I'll get back to it when I'm a little bit better, okay? I'll start making chess tutorials when I'm also at the 1000 level like Klaus. I guess we can make a kick from scratch. It's been a while. I updated my menu, by the way. There's a lot more stuff now. You can see it mainly in the EQ and the dynamics thing. This is massive now, all of the TR5 stuff and stuff like that. Cool games. We'll play a few games offline, maybe. I don't want to be embarrassed by you when I'm on stream. No, it would be unfair, because either you play to let me win, and then it's not fun for anybody, or you play to your capacity, and I just get demolished. What am I doing? I want to make a kick, not a base. Is my high-tech project another name? For now it isn't. I'm just thinking of releasing it as is. I need to stay within 116 note, actually. That's the tricky part. Let's go with a different BPM. Let's go... Ooh, that's really fast. Let's go 200. The last one was 175. That's a little bit slow for high-tech. I know it sounds fast, but high-tech producers are a different beast. They like 200 BPM or something like that. But if I just go like this, right, making the kick drum like that. That's too low. Wait, what? I guess I can set this to 16 notes envelope for both of them. And then just make it as long as it needs to be, which is, I guess, something like this. It just needs more modulation. That's it. Then we want more for the click, which I'll do here. I wonder how to use a multi-band sidechain compressor on Action, but it's too early to want that in high-track tech. Multi-band sidechain compressor. The point of multi-band is that you need to do something to a certain amount of frequencies that you don't need to do to the other frequencies, right? When it comes to sidechaining, what you need to do is you need to duck the volume to get out of the space. There's not really any necessity to duck specific frequencies. Right? If a sound is in the way, then it's just in the way, and if it's not in the way, then it's not in the way. I don't see how you would need to specifically do sidechaining multiband. I know there's a lot of techniques out there for different genres, but specifically talking about psytrance, I don't sidechain anything. Like zero, nothing. I just make space in different ways, and it always seems to kind of work. Only reason I would sidechain is if I were to do it creatively. Sounds like a nice starting point. We go the high octave, right? So we go... I'm in G sharp now. I should probably go to like a D sharp but higher here. Okay, so that's 2. We want to go here then. Yes. Our bass patch. That's kind of already it. I guess I want a little bit more filter cutoff here, and then it closing quicker. Something like that. Then we want our processing, which I have in, oh, wrong one. Would be cool if there's a way to leave the menu open if you select one. Like if you shift click, it just leaves the menu open and it allows you to. Actually, there's a thing I wanted to try here. You can. Yeah, 80 is okay. It doesn't have to be 90 exactly. So, because you're just setting the depth amount, the multiplier here anyway. It's indeed a fast sound, yeah, that's the point of high tech, is to be fast and energetic. Oh. That's a little bit of a problem. Never had to do so much EQing on a starting bass actually. But this deserves it. I guess I can do the lower ones with the harmonic editor. That's a little bit cleaner. Just up this a lot. I should probably turn this into an audio file, the kick, so I can actually see what it's doing. Input and output. I want you. That a normal functioning kick, it does seem like a good kick, right? Make a group for a kick. And then our bass should never be more than one channel, so I can just do it like this, and I have my gyroscope set up. I know it's a message, it just needs to be good for the individual parts, I guess. I guess what I could do, give this a little bit more punch, is to do a volume thing here. Pretty strong, like volume close already here. That actually fixes all of my problems. I don't even have to resample anymore, because the amount is too low. I like the sound of this, but it's too. It's too pointy there below. That's an issue. I guess I want more high frequencies from it, right? There we are. Portal's good, but you need a good computer. I've heard a lot about Portal. It's looked to me like a very strange plugin in what it does, but apparently it's just like reverb, delay, and stuff like that, isn't it? Just like ambient stuff. Or is it actually something like magical that it does? Is there something about it that you just cannot do with any other plugin? I mean, at some point I thought Black Hole was magic, but that's just a reverb with very long length at the end of the day, right? Output plugins are very CPU greedy in general. I've heard that, yes. I've not heard about more of their stuff, but I know that Portal is very extreme in that case. We are in D sharp, aren't we? Yes. Delay, crystal, reverb. So all kinds of reverb then. Kind of like the turbo reverb, which also does like shimmer, crystallizer, that kind of stuff, right? I don't even know. Does it do crystallizing? I don't even know what that means. I always thought that that was just like a very bright reverb. Creative for the special. We have the shimmer. There's like some delays in there. There's spectral stuff, which I don't know what it means. Apparently you can pitch shift here. Objects. Magical. I have no idea what all of this is. Bus reverb. It's just a bus there. Nice. Kinda. Okay. I have a technique. I'm actually setting up something. I haven't explained this, but what we're doing is I'm making a bunch of synths so that I can make a sequence, which I can then randomly glitch out with the Deep Blue glitch plugins. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna go here. Just a random tone will be okay. Yes, that works. Now we need one sequence, which I'm just going to get from 24 dB with high resonance kind of stuff. There we are. Olvi, how are you doing? Welcome. This one lower, and then we just make our sequence like this. Theoretically, already it should work if you just put on the plugin. I have a video coming up on this. I've posted shorts on this, right? Actually today, I think. Yeah, the short that I posted this afternoon is actually this technique here. You just put on this plugin and let it do its thing. And now we just record the part of this. There aren't a lot of easy tricks that I like to use, right? The easy track to get your mid-range right, to the easy trick to always get the nice kick and bass. I don't like that, but this plugin, Deep Blue Glitch, is an easy trick. It's just throw it on there, set a seed, and it will do what like glitchy stuff, right? And this is all you need. If you want more length, let's say that we want to make this section, I don't know, so let's go for 16 bars here. We just let it play longer. And the cool thing is, this theoretically should provide a very similar effect, because all of the randomization for the effects, like the effect triggering, I think, is done with this seed. So all of these random things that it's triggering, the R stands for random. It triggers these effects randomly, based on like the percentage here. But because we're using the same seed, on the playthrough it will always be the same, I think. Well, it doesn't even matter if it's the same, because we just have it recorded and then we'll keep it like that. I don't actually necessarily want to go back into the MIDI and change things. So this is cool. What's it called? It's called D-Blue Glitch. I think if you just search glitch VST, you'll find it, because it's abandonware, which means that you can download it for free. Like nobody is making any profit of it anymore, nobody is maintaining it anymore, and I think it's been like that for a long time. You do need what's it called, a bridge. I have JBridge to go from 32-bit to 64. Because this only runs as 32-bit. There's no 64-bit version, because it's abandonware and nobody actually bothered to make the 64-bit version. Am I saying that right? Isn't there the version 2? Glitch. Yeah, Glitch 2. No way. Look, there's a second version of it. This is all of the same effects. Is it the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. It's one more. Lo-fi. Yeah, but you can trigger them individually if you want to. That's the point here, I guess. And this is 64 bits. So you have that advantage as well. But the original is still very much available, and you can just download it as abandonware. Actually, don't want the delay. Hi-hats and other drum stuff. I don't actually have a pack for hi-hats or any drums for high-tech, I guess. I guess we're just gonna go with the standard ones. Now there's a trick that you can do. I guess the easiest way to do it is to just make a MIDI clip, drag it in here, or on the track, I guess. Go like this, and then by setting random velocities with the velocity mode, or the velocity MIDI device here, you can just add a bit of randomness to it, which essentially just gives it dynamics at random, right? Or do I need to set 100%? There we are. How do you just right click and choose something from the list? This is a device called Live Enhancement Suite. It's this stuff here. You go to this website and you download this. It's a separate program that runs parallel to Ableton Live. And it has the quickly add menu device menu in here. And that's how you just double right click and it gives you a menu. You have to make this menu yourself. So if I go here, I get the text document that you basically have to set up yourself. You type in the plugin name that you want to display and then what you want to search in the search bar, because that's how it works. It basically just executes a search command and then it places it on the track that you had selected. So that's how it works. I do want a little bit of control over it, I guess. Some sidechaining. Here I'm just, the sidechaining that I do is just like LFO tool. Nothing crazy. What was that DAW that you were using when mixing? That's Reaper. This baby here. Reaper. Really fast, really accessible DAW. 60 bucks and you get basically a full mixing suite of DAW. Very good stuff. By the way, welcome to the stream, Andre. Not seen your name before in chat today. Maybe not even ever. Isn't there a thing in high tech where they do like this with their snares? Or like this? Do you always use Reaper for mixing? Yes. I produce in Ableton Live and then I export all of the tracks so that I can go into Reaper and I can mix them there. And the reason for that has to do with the mindset that one needs to have for production versus mixing. When I'm producing here, I want to be able to touch everything, right? I want to be able to change the patch. If I want to go in here and record a new version of this, I want to be able to do that. If I want to change the bassline, I want to be able to go into the patch and tweak the minute details of your bassline. All of that stuff we want to do. But when we want to mix, we don't want to do any of that. We just want to look at the sound as a sound. This is what you have, deal with it, right? And then you have to find the best way to actually implement that into a track. And that's what's interesting to me because when it comes to mixing, I don't want to force myself back into the production. So the reason that I export everything and I actually have to leave my PC on overnight to export stems like that, because that takes like 7-8 hours for like an average track. So it takes a lot of time. You have to reorganize the whole project and all of that stuff, and you have to redo all of the volumes and all of that stuff. The reason for that is it's better on the mindset and it results in better mixes if you think about the mixing process separately. It just does. People say that there's a lot of good things about the hybrid production mindset, but personally I don't buy it. I've not had any good experiences mixing in the production project. Now for the hi-hats. I'm looking to find a few patterns. One of the things that I noticed, I don't know if there's any high-tech producers here today that can actually help me out with this stuff, but the bar is kind of like divided up in this, and then they just have one snare on the third beat, right? I don't know about the open hats, if they just keep them normally. That sounds very, very busy, with the hi-hats also there. It's actually sounding very, very nice. I'm happy with what we've got so far. Even though this feels a little bit off, just having the hi-hat on every beat. But I don't know the patterns, right? I've noticed the snare thing, but I don't know any of the other drum patterns that are like normal for high-tech. So I'll just leave it the rest as it's like normally is. Came past your channel a few months ago just to get some inspiration. Cool that you go live on here. That's an interesting idea with the mixing. Yeah, I like to do like live streams for me. Yes, I have like work to do, right? Like mixing a track like we did before, which I had planned out to do a little bit more of, but as I said, I just kind of finished quickly. But it's also a way for me to unwind and see what people are interested about from me, right? All of the questions that I get in the chat here, I can remember kind of the general vibe of what people are asking me. It's usually the same thing though, but it's a great way for me to gauge what the community does in terms of what kind of content they want from me. Can dig this triplet sidewind. Well, you would actually be surprised. This isn't triplet. This is high tech, right? So it's really fast, but it isn't actually triplet. So there you are in the clear. So it's actually 3 notes here. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th is obviously the kick. So this isn't a normal triplet. This is a normal rolling bass line. But yeah, the progressive stuff. A lot of people that know me do more progressive stuff than me, especially when I'm working on high tech, because that's, you know, really fast and stuff like that. Cool, you should come more often also for the feedback streams. Yes. I don't know if you know, since this is the first stream that you're actually here. Every Sunday, from now every Sunday, by the way, I do a feedback stream where I listen to people's tracks and listen to people's music and just chill and say some nasty things about it, obviously. No, I just give feedback on music and have a good time with the people that submit. It tends to be my most popular stream because people want the feedback, obviously. But also, it's on a Sunday, so everybody's like free. Nobody has anything going on, so it's a nice time for me to stream. I guess I want this to maybe just be like stable every other beat. I'm just adding a bunch of like extra tones to it to get some stability back. So something like this, which should be like nice and sharp. Yeah, we can do like this. We do that every other bar. It took me a while to see what that response was to Sophist, because having to roll back, I see Klaus just mentioning coffee time there. I guess it's the BPM for me. Can you do it at 150? Apparently I can just change this BPM, yeah. No issues. It is indeed meant to be fast like this, yes. 200 BPM is definitely the speed that it's designed for. It's really hard to explain high-tech to people that don't know high-tech. Right? Because it's like the crazy uncle of psytrance music. You remember your cool uncle that came along every Christmas and would just bring you gifts and would laugh hysterically at everything and stuff like that? Everybody has an uncle like that in the family. I know you have. It's kind of like that in terms of what vibes high-tech tends to capture. Can you automate it as 200 and 100? I know what you mean. Like starting the track out at 100 BPM and then using one set of notes and then going to double the time, I guess. But how would I do that without just completely going up? Happy hardcore, hardstyle, and I'm fairly new to psytrance. Only like Armin or Giuseppe. Would it work? It would be really hard. I need to think about how I would do that. Yeah, if you're just coming in. Yeah, but then how would I change from an 8th note to a 16th note? Because this is a 16th note, right? This is the speed that we're at. That kind of fast-paced speed. What I think he wants me to do is something like this. Let's set this to 100, so I have to minimum as well. So to go from like 100 to 200 and then switching from an 8th note to a 16th note. But where would we make that switch? I mean, I can just do it like this. I've turned off the sidechaining so I can speak when it's playing. But essentially what I think he asked is to go from 100 to 200 in a build-up. Then straight forward to 100. Wait, like this. Or wait, like this. Yeah, if you make this then 8th notes, then yes, that would make it like double the speed, right? Didn't mean that, but it's okay. I don't like this. I do like this track at 100 BPM. I accidentally designed the track to be too fast. Yes, 100. We can redesign it because all I need to do to change it for 100 BPM is to like record a kick again, right? And it's just like follow this. yeah, you have your kick. This is going to be a much stronger kick now as well. So that should be nice. Should give it a little bit more punch and oomph. Or whatever the kids say nowadays. This is indeed some experimenter stuff, Klaus. Ah, this is warped. Ah. I mean, that one beat 100 BPM, one beat 200 BPM. One beat. Huh? Like this. Like alternating. I think this is going to be a mess. In fact, I'm quite sure that this is not going to work, but we can have a listen. It is doubling the speed, so maybe it's not that bad. It's almost like a drum and bass pattern, I guess. Exactly like this. I'm scared. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just to listen to it with like the drums and stuff. It's like pirate music. I'm gonna be honest here. It sounds like we're making pirate music. What if we do have the snares like line up with that though? Because that's one of the things that's sounding strange here. Now we're getting into some real experimenter stuff, Klaus. This is something that I wouldn't dare post to Projector if I was to go to this route. Of course, we need to make sure that the kick always fits, I guess. Yeah, I'm not a fan, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe this is the moment that I start making Psychill, right? Or Psybient or whatever it's called. The slower psytrance. The ambulance, do we sample it? Do I have time to sample it? Nope. It's already passed. Yeah, I think I'll keep it a little bit less complex than switching BPM every beat. If you guys don't mind. I like to be experimental, but that's like a whole new level of experimentation. It was a cool rhythm, but it's not danceable, which I mean, the psytrance usually kind of is, right? Ooh, that's a strong kick. That's a very strong kick. Do I want that? That much like... I guess like that. I have 4 new sideshot tracks at 100 BPM in the works. Are any of them crazy enough that they started with some high-tech leads? To be honest, I don't know, because it's really hard for me to think of how this will like work itself in with the rest of the elements that I would want to put in here if I were to make Sybians, right? Like, let's try a pad, because we at some point need to go away from the intro. Chill aggressive. You could call it like that, yes. Here we are. Okay, let's go with like a sound match here. A random one. Let's see. What are the chances that this one works? That's too low an octave. Translucent. I like that. I think we finished the track. I think that's it. I mean, that's almost perfect, I would say. Like, it's the kind of crazy ambience that we want, but it also, I think, will transition pretty well into that glitchy stuff because it has that little bit of distortion in it. Actually, I want this to be one long note so that it doesn't actually reset the sample. Also, our intro, it has to be a lot longer for Sybians, right? So we would start like maybe here, 2 minutes in, we have the kick and bass come in. That's normal, right? Nice long intro, we'll do more stuff there. What am I using for this pad? This is Omnisphere. Omnisphere is stupidly powerful for this kind of stuff. You can just load it up, click a random preset, and then you just sound match until you find something that works. Wait, did I just freeze it and then unfreeze it? Flatten. Okay, so this a loop, right? but it's not a perfect loop in the sense that like this part then plays here again. So it's not like a perfect loop. I do want to keep like this version here. If you have Omnisphere, then you have the presets that I have, because I don't have any like expansions or stuff like that for it. It sounds perfect, but it's not like in tempo exactly, which is cool, but that does mean that we need to like turn it off here. Oh, wait. I have an idea. Ooh, wait. I might be a genius. I mean, I know I am, but in this case. I might be a genius now as well. That's what I meant. We go like this. And now we have offbeat high tech. There we are. Not a chess genius, indeed. Yes. Yes, that's true. But a genius nonetheless. I think this is pretty cool, actually. What I did here is I just said, okay, I want an offbeat high-tech bass line. So we just take one of the bass notes and then we immediately go back into a kick. So now we have 200 BPM here. What I could even do if I wanted to is I just duplicate this patch here, take all of these things and put it to 1/32, and then we just have like instant high tech, right? I just make 3 notes here, here, and here, and then with a bit of separation and stuff like that, we should be able to just turn this into high tech. Without any BPM change. Of course, we need to LFO tool this a little bit because it's coming. Everything is strange. This now needs to be 1/8 note. This needs to go down like this. I'm probably gonna go up an octave then if we want to do that. Yes, I essentially brought it back to 200. And the cool thing is that we can do that like transitioning, right? We can theoretically just extend this drop however long we want, and then put this in wherever we want, and we just build up to it, and this will be 200 BPM here. This is very experimental. I do like it. How long have I been live? I have been live for a little bit. Oh, me 2 seconds. You said you wanted to hear my track soon, didn't you? Did I say that? Or somebody in chat? I've been live for over 3 hours. Yes, I am going to... I quickly need to get to the door because the upper neighbor messaged me. I guess he'll ring the bell when he's here. So that does mean that I need to stop wearing headphones now. There's been some stuff with the what's it called, the water bill. What happened was we came into, like, the 3 people living in this apartment here now. We came into this block like as a sub-entrant is something that it's called, which is, we didn't really take over like the rent here. We just came into the existing contract already. The problem was nobody knew who paid the water bill. So like the other day, like 2 weeks ago, our landlord just kind of came to the property, and he said like, okay, you guys need to pay the water bill. And we were like, I thought that you were supposed to pay the water bill. Isn't it part of the shared stuff, right? Because it's a shared apartment, it's a shared building. So the building, from what we understood, the building paid a water bill, and then everybody just took the water. Where am I from? I'm Dutch, but I live in Cremona, Italy. I've been living in Italy for almost a decade. 15 days plus 10 days. 25 more days, I'll be here for a decade. In Italy. Anyway, I think he'll shoot a message the neighbor when he gets by. But I'm going to probably end the stream here anyway. Because, yeah, I didn't. It's been its time. It's not getting late, something like that. But I do need to do some editing. Because I'm a little bit late on the videos. I've been posting so much lately. I've shown it before, right? The graph earlier in this stream. I've shown before that the content is really popping off, and you guys seem to absolutely love it. So that's nice. But for those that haven't seen it, especially the views, if you look at like the 90-day graph, it's just up and over the top. Also, I've been posting a lot more, but people have just been liking the content a lot more. So I want to keep that streak going as much as possible. Either way, what I want to do is I want to do one more live stream before the Sunday live stream. So that's either tomorrow or Saturday, right? Because today is Thursday, I believe. He is. I want to do one more stream there, and then I want to focus on all of the extra things that I want to do, maybe in the mix or just production. So there's going to be one more stream before the feedback stream. That's what I wanted to say. I'm looking in my mind if there's anything else that I need to mention. I already mentioned the EP that is coming out very, very soon. For those that haven't seen it yet, EP stuff here. You can click this link to pre-save on Spotify. That way you'll have it in your library immediately. But yeah, that's going to be it. I'll end the stream here for today. Done a nice 3 hours of just mainly chilling. Did spend some time actually working on that mix. I don't know about this track if I'm going to keep it and actually finish it, or if this is just some kind of like interesting idea. Either way, thank you guys for sticking by, and we'll see you either tomorrow or the day after that, and if not, Sunday on the on the feedback stream, on the feedback live stream. There we are. See you guys.